So I wasn't going to go live, but after rewiring an 80-year-old phone, cleaning up, finding some equipment that had disappeared, and just all around working on all kinds of crazy stuff, I decided, I'm going to take a break and instead do the same stressful mess that streaming is. I say stressful mess, it's really not that stressful, but it's a process. But I thought, it's five, you know, Sunday afternoon. Can't be anything special going on today. Nope, nothing special going on this time of year, this Sunday night. So, just streaming will be totally fine. I'll totally get viewers. Yeah. So, what we are going to look at today is just more good old Hovend, because that's what we do in. Hang on a sec. Why isn't that working the way it should? Am I in the wrong? Oh, there's the problem. There's the problem. Give me a moment. I've got to change some things around. Um, so it turns out I started this in the wrong browser, so I need to move to the correct browser. So, give me just a second. Do, 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 do. As you can see, I didn't plan this through. Well, I was planning. The problem is I did everything in the browser I usually plan things in, the almighty Firefox, as opposed to, doing it in Chrome where all these, stream programs actually work properly. So let me get into Restream. I am going to disappear for a moment, but I will be right back. There we go. The tomato is back. We got audio. Everything good? Definitely just let me know. I mean, I guess you wouldn't be hearing me if things weren't working good, and the indicator says everything's working good, so I think I'm all right. Okay, so that's enough preamble. A smooth transition. You gotta love it. So, of course, we're going to take a look at everyone's favorite fraud. Whatever Kent decided to upload today. I watched the first few seconds of it and was like, might as well. Honestly, I'm doing this more as just a chance to hang out with y'all. Um, so yeah, here it's 0007. Nice. All right. Let's get going with Mr. My videos keep getting demonetized, so apparently, according to YouTube, I've been a bit too mean. So we're gonna be nice here, and we're just gonna say the guy who looks very, very pleasant and just is clearly a wonderful person. Yep, such a wonderful person he is, right there in front of us.
Well, good morning, folks. Ken Hovind here and the crew at Dinosaur Adventureland and Genesis Baptist Church in Lenox, Alabama. It is February the 9th, 2025. Today is my spiritual birthday, the day I gave my heart to the Lord.
I don't care. Hey, the dino lamp is on. Shout out to the dino lamp being on. As we discovered yesterday, when the lamp is on, I like it. When it's off, I hate it. It's weird how that works.
If you're not on our TikTok channel, we have a subscribers only where I do a 9:30 show. I told the whole story about my testimony, give my heart to the Lord, February 9th, 1969. We're on a bunch of channels. Joseph, how did they get around? They got from TV channel now. They changed the name, KentHovind.tv.
Oh, now it's a TV channel and not an app like he was saying yesterday, which, if for some reason you didn't see the stream yesterday, he says it costs $1 a year, but is actually a $5 a month or a $50 a year subscription to the 777 Club. And that way you get all of Kent Hovind's content, which consists of everything they were able to pull from Rumble, where it's been archived since the Kent Hovind official channel went down. Quality stuff.
Take you right to us. But make a donation of any amount. How do they get on the TikTok super chat thing or whatever it is where they go to Kent Hovind Official on TikTok?
Thank you, Claude. I'm glad I'm doing this one then.
Subscribe. Then you get the special 9:30 edition, or every Sunday morning. Okay. I have beside me here Grantham and his wife. She's been my secretary, and he's been doing sign.
Ladies and gentlemen, before you, from right to left, are Kent Hovind, Grantham Simpson, and Jessica Simpson. Because, yes, that is her name.
Signs here. Grantham, how long ago did you hear about our ministry?
Oh, we
And yes, this is the same guy who gave the medical details about what a narcissist is during the Am I a Narcissist video that, was taken down from Kent's channels before it eventually, disappeared. All the channels disappeared completely. And, I happen to have downloaded it. And, it's on my channel just hanging out. In case you somehow missed that.
we've been, we've been watching you for years. Several years ago. Several years ago, we were watching Dr. Hovind. Actually, since I was 9, to tell you the truth. You showed up at our elementary school when I was 9, and I never had an issue with creationism from the rest of my life.
So apparently I'm getting old.
Yeah.
That hurts. That hurts so bad. And Jesse, you've been our secretary working in the office now. You need to go to Mobile for a while, maybe a few months, and get a house. And I want to raise some money. They've been a great couple here. Get them to come back someday. Tell us a little bit of your story here, Grantham, how the Lord changed your life.
Okay, well, so I'll just skip to the good part, the Jesus part. I suffered a lot of bad decisions. I was the definition of the prodigal son, way out there, and got mixed up in drugs and alcohol, mixed up in all kinds of stuff. And then one day cried out to the
Hey, that was Christina Aguilera, dang it. Get your late 90s, early 2000s pop stars right. We honor the past here. Because my taste in music is kind of garbage. Actually, I didn't much care for a lot of that stuff, but there's some pop from that era that I like. Jessica Simpson was not it, though.
Lord and came to him with a repentant heart, and he changed my heart. He answered, and from then on, I started studying the Word. We started studying the Word together.
Grantham is unnerving to me because dude looks like a botched clone of a friend of mine. And it's really disturbing. We got like Uncanny Valley. It's weird.
We were married, have a son, and our life became about telling people about the active, very active glory and grace of the Lord. And
Oh, we got a cougher in the background. Cougher turns into a scoffer once they get the Rona. Hold on. Get the Rona. Get the jab. You're suddenly you're in league with Satan. Hoffend.
and using our testimony and the ongoing testimonies with everything that he does in our life daily. Try to work unto the Lord. And when we were away.
Please note to limit the Swedish in the chat to only 12 paragraphs maximum. Not all of us can read. Nah, I kid. The only Swedish I know I learned from IKEA. Oh, that and, a couple of aircraft names.
Away from the Lord, we had several consequences. One of them was that we were separated from our son. But coming back to the Lord, or coming to the Lord, he restores all things. Christ restores all things. God of restoration. And so he has restored everything to us tenfold, including.
Also, I'm sure the audio is kind of low on their end for you guys. It feels low for me. It's just low. I've got to address that because unlike Kent's technical team, I actually care about the quality of the garbage I put out. This is top tier garbage. This is stuff the raccoons will pay good money for. This isn't your everyday dumpster. This is fine trash right here.
Our son, we're in the process of receiving him back. That's why we're moving. We're moving to a place where we have been. We've we've each gotten two pretty good jobs that we get to start in a few weeks. And
So it's not nice of me to knock people's struggles in life, um, but I hate to say that it's telling that whatever situation those two had been in, they had lost custody of their son. And granted, they're hopefully working through all this, although if your life has been restored on religious grounds, it seems like it doesn't ever end well. Um, I it's really telling of the kind of company that Kent keeps. Now, were he not the kind of person he is, this would be telling of him really working to try to help people. But instead, it shows you that the only people he can get around him are all those who have reached some level of rock bottom, which is pretty tragic.
and we're moving to a place with a solid school system and home, and to continue to tell people about what the Lord does when you truly give yourself to Him, and that's what we do.
All right. Well, if we'd
Yep, everything's in God's plan. So God took the son away.
like to help you, you need about $3,000 to get all the bills paid and move into this house in Mobile. And so I've got 500 I've been able to raise up for you, maybe a little more. So if you can help either of them. But how do they get?
You know, this is the stuff that just kind of burns me personally. There's a lot of stuff I need to get done that when you go to me to help out with medical stuff, things in life. It's been a rocky few years. Um, and you see people getting donations like this, and it's like, who are you in the grand scheme of things? Okay, you cultivated this little group of people. You know you got in good with Hovend, and people are gonna just it's weird how that's the way the world works. And it makes sense that it works that way, but it doesn't, if you know what I mean. Like, that's obviously how it's going to work. Oh, yeah, they've got this connection, this web of people, and therefore they're going to get this benefit or that benefit. But it's just like, really, really rubs you the wrong way. I guess it's the basic thing that boils down to the whole life isn't fair facet, where you're just like, is what it is, though. But Kent apparently is able to throw in half a grand. So, spoiler alert, he says he throws in 500. By that, he meant 500 pennies, I'm sure, but still.
Money, Joseph, to their PayPal account. They can put it on if they want to help them. Donate to you, donate to me, and mark it for Grantham, Grantham, and Jesse.
As if you can't understand what someone would type if they mistyped or mistyped whatever. Just pathetic.
All right? That'd be the easiest way. Okay. So if you can help us, please do. Thank you, brother.
Thank you.
Get that son back and get all settled in, and then come back up here and get to work. We got work to do.
Yes, sir.
All right.
We got
Thank you.
sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
All
Thank
right.
y'all.
And see, yeah, it's the idea that these kinds of people can fuck up royally and get things handed to them, whereas someone can have stuff just happen beyond their control, a cascade of events. You do everything right and stuff still goes wrong, and you just got to fucking deal with it. It's really ridiculous, and it's honestly only human to get pissed about it.
Thank you, man. All right.
Also, watch them never come back.
All right. So we are on a whole bunch of channels and now on our own TV program, Ken Hovend Official. By donations only, just please.
It's not a TV program, Kent. You got a streaming platform. That's what you have, you dinosaur. In lighter news, we've got our old friend, the ancient pixelated subscribe button with the like, share, comment. For YouTube that they're not on anymore and all the shill channels are like half dead. Good to see an old friend. How you doing, subscribe button? Sorry you have to live inside of Ken Hovend's slides, but you're the best thing about his slides. And I'm not even being sarcastic. That I have grown to love the pixelated, fuzzy, like, share, comment, subscribe image.
Do that. Subscribe to our channel, share it with other people. If the comment makes some comments, join our 777 club. Those Aaron Ra, the atheist, started this idea. I saw his show one time years ago, and he said he had a 666 club. He said, I want 666 people to send me $1 a day so I can spread my atheism. I said, spreading atheism is stupid, but that's a good idea to have 7.
No, Aaron uses the funds to, fund his many projects where actual science, actual facts are disseminated amongst all his other crazy stuff. And by crazy, I mean, crazy like a fox. Also, he didn't update his slides because it still right here mentions the new secretary, Jessica, who's not going to be the new secretary. Hovind did a pump and dump. Instead of crypto, it was Grantham's wife. He's like, nah, not for me, Hovind.
777 club, so that's more scriptural. We'll be talking about the number 7 this morning a little bit. So if you want to help, join our 777. Secretary Jessica, your name's on here, but you won't still be getting calls down there to make it Bobby.
Ooh, he actually acknowledged that his slide is out of date. Impressive. Also, won't be getting calls down there. Let me just double check. Okay, wow. Yeah, Mobile, Alabama is actually south of Lenox. It is southwest. Okay, so it is down there. An hour, 9 minutes, 79 miles away. 79 miles away from Mobile, Alabama. Harvard.
Go to Bobby. Okay. Same number, extension 1. Joseph, you're going to fix that? Okay, no problem. Email stays the same. Dr. Dino, secretary. Okay. Anyway, if you want to.
For what it's worth, since Stacy loves when I just say the most ridiculous garbage, the more I get, I know everyone's limited and stuff, but the more super chats I get, the more likely I am to not give a dang in a stream because the monetization won't matter. I will have more than made up for it with a few generous donations, but people have been incredible through January, so I don't expect anyone to just toss over bukus. Far from it, actually. I do appreciate you guys. I always hate being like a reminder of like, hey, super chats are an option. Because it feels so greedy. But yeah. They take the edge off, wondering about the limited monetization. It's annoying.
Go to our website, drdino.com. All of our channels are listed there. They took down.
I mean, YouTube is nothing but annoying, but now it's a fun annoyance.
On YouTube, we expected that because the atheists can't handle the truth. I love that video, part of that. What movie was that from?
A Few Good Men, and he was the bad guy in that, Kent. You're the kind of guy who'd watch even that kind of movie and not get the point.
Few Good Men. You can't handle the truth. Okay. Open for free. Visitors from all over the place. We want to change lives. Help us out. Our video series available on DVD. $50 for the whole 18-hour series. 3 of them for $100. Give them out to your friends and enemies. Okay. Change someone's life forever. Get our series on what on earth is about to happen.
I mean, something to think about is the fact that when you super chat, I am going to read it, which means you get to hear your words coming out of my mouth. That's a powerful tool if used properly. Although sometimes, I do err on discretion. It just depends. But I'll pretty much say whatever. Brock, not yet. He didn't say anything super stupid yet, although Jessica and Grantham are leaving for Mobile, Alabama. So there's that.
And for heaven's sake. Whoa, what on earth is about the future according to the Bible? Okay, we are. February 9th, my spiritual birthday. About a week ago, I did a program on my open letter to Donald Trump.
Hey, wait a minute. Before we get to development, so Whack an Atheist, standing for truth. Was he on Donnie's channel last Wednesday at 5? As I looked, I didn't see it. So I don't know because he did the Whack an Atheist. Excuse me, on Sir Sick. So I don't know.
Okay, we are. February 9th, my spiritual birthday. About a week ago, I did a program on my open letter to Donald Trump. If you want to get a hold of Donald Trump, go to 45office.com, and it tells you how to contact him.
Or I could just go through, the standard channels that have been the same for every president ever. Well, in the modern era.
Contact your senator, U.S. representative. You can contact them. Send them a link to that video and say, please, watch this. Get this case overturned. It needs to be. Well, if they paid what they owed me, what could we build around here? We could buy the rest of the state of Alabama. Yeah.
Oh no. I will chain myself up to the Saturn V at the U.S. Space and Rocket Center if this man was to try to buy all of Alabama. Nope. You are not taking Redstone Arsenal. You are not taking the Rocket Center. You're not taking Decatur. Decatur, Huntsville, no. Tennessee's usurping all of that. No. And Florence, Alabama, too, because I met good people from that place. So it gets brought in as well. You hear me, people? I'm going to need y'all's help. If Kent tries to buy all of Alabama, we're stopping him. He can have the rest of it. I don't care. But he ain't getting the northern part. Oh. And yes, I realize I just took his joke completely seriously. It's me being playful. I don't know why I feel the need to explain that, but I guess a random Hovendite watching will be confused thinking that I took Hovind seriously.
If you have lost people, you're welcome to host any of my videos on your channel. Just don't charge for
them. Wow. Just don't charge. Dead. Okay, define charge for them, Kent. Is running an advertisement charging for them? Or is that just an advertisement to help pay everyone's bills? Because YouTube gets a cut of that money. No one ever thinks about that when you monetize a video, that YouTube gets a chunk of the change. So,
This has got 320,000 views on his. Looks like Russian or Polish name. I'm not sure. Okay. So please do. We're trying to win a war. Other people are welcome to post my stuff on their channel. Please spread it around.
Yep. I'm posting your stuff and spreading it around. But with commentary. Oh. I'm sorry. I couldn't say that with a straight face.
Someday I'll be gone. Okay, I got a slide number.
And that day can't come soon enough.
29, 89. Okay. Psalm 70 is a prayer from an individual seek divine protection and deliverance from his enemies. How many of you have ever needed to be protected from somebody because you had somebody after you're mad at you or something like that?
I know a person from Prague. They were in the music game scene. I still got contact, but I haven't talked with them in a while. I should probably catch up, but I'm so out of that scene, I don't even know what we'd actually talk about beyond just how things are going. But I should probably catch up.
The psalmist expresses a plea for God to act quickly and rescue and help them. The psalm is nearly identical to the closing verses of Psalm 40, with a slight variation in the terms used for God. It's believed that the psalm was designed to bring remembrance of God's mercy and promises. It's often recited in times of affliction. See, this was their songbook. This is the songs they would sing. When you have problems going on, sing this psalm. They would comfort them. Okay, they still do that. There's Psalm 70, Lord, do not delay. It's only 5 verses, the whole psalm. There it is. But it's got a great thought in it, quite a few actually, rabbit trails I went down in the last 3 days getting ready. It's got a lot of things in the Bible about numbers. Just the number 70 is important. Did you know you can make your phone count how many steps you take during the day?
Yeah, that's the magic of a logarithm with an accelerometer, Kent. It measures the bouncy, 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 which is what happens to your phone as you walk. Well, it's more of a swaying motion, depending on how it is, but yeah. Welcome to technology, Kent.
How many knew that? Your phone, at the end of the day, you can
Oh my God, show of hands.
say you took, 3,205 steps. Your phone. Yeah. How to make your iPhone count your steps. Your cell phone can count your steps. Bible says the very hairs of your head are all.
Oh, here he is talking about the heads of hair again. And no, Maria, you're fine. And I'm I don't know if you've been in a stream when I've brought this up. I'm pretty big into Cold War history, um, and do have a bit of an interest in East-West Germany, Berlin Wall, etc. That's nascent, over the past 4 years, 3 4 years, developed as a heavier interest. So you definitely got my interest. But yeah, Czechoslovakia, yeah, that was past the Iron Curtain. It wasn't Soviet Union, but it was right there adjacent. Good old Warsaw Pact, satellite nations. It's just so weird thinking about it, given my relative youth, that I have vague memories that happen to be of a time when the Soviet Union still existed.
All numbered, not counted, numbered. He knows the number of each one. Let's see, this is hair number 2,462. Yeah. It'd be basic enough just to have them counted, but God knows everything. He knows every molecule.
Yeah, Kent, we get it. Okay, literally, as a child, we understood that concept. When you preachers bring this up like that constantly, you're not wowing anybody. That's another thing I don't get, is that they always talk as if this is the first time anyone's ever hearing any of these stories or anything about this character or anything of the sort. And it's like, no, we've been exposed to it our entire lives for the most part. Those of us anywhere in typical America, you could say, and plenty other places in the world, albeit not the same way as here.
He knows the location of every electron whizzing around every proton and neutron right now. For now, thou numberest my steps. Huh.
We got our friend Marty sending a $2 super chat of just a heart. Much love back to you, my friend. Thank you.
Dost thou not watch over my sin? God knows how many steps you take. He knows where they go, too. He knows every thought you ever thunk. And he loves you anyway and wants you saved, okay? I would declare unto him.
Yes, and if that deity did, quote, love somebody and wanted to, quote unquote, save them, they could do one of two things. Either forgive them for whatever crime or punishment they're being saved from with unconditionally, or even better, just not have the crime exist. And that would be fine. But instead, there's this convoluted system of sacrificing oneself to bypass laws that the deity themselves made that they could just easily forget or waive, but choose not to. And the requirement is for you to meet some arbitrary criteria of acceptance of this story, in so far as accepting that it happened negates the punishment for this crime that isn't even a crime. Jeez, Kent, do you stop and think how stupid this all sounds? Seriously, worst story ever.
Him the number of my steps. Anyway, there's a neat teaching in the Bible that people have studied for years called numerology. What do the different numbers mean? The number 3, the Trinity, the number 7, we'll talk about it, and the number 70 this morning. Now be careful. Satan is an imposter, and he's got his numerology.
I thought he was a deceiver. Is he a deceiver or imposter? Which one? Well, actually, damn it. Sorry, in the middle of that, I had a moment of revelation that being an imposter would imply a level of deception. Oh, no, wait. Wait, it's not even deceiver. No. It's an adversary. It's nemesis is the concept. Which, funnily enough, the word nemesis is something used in my personal themology quite a bit. A lot of things I'll end up having with that name attached to them. And I did this when I was a kid, so it's like, it seems like there was some symbolism there that I didn't realize until after the fact. I won't get it now, but adult me is gonna love it. Yeah, I don't know where I was going with that. I got derailed and then realized I derailed my own self. So let's get back on the rails of the crazy train and keep going.
Stuff too. Don't fall into this horoscope stuff and numerology stuff that the devil does. But back to the number 70. It's an amazing number in the Bible. It's about its kingdom, ruling in heaven and earth.
Look, I just wish I could go to Berlin. All right. I just want to go hang out in Berlin. I think that'd be cool. I think I'd have a good time. A goal, it would be one hell of a walk, but I would actually like to walk the perimeter of the wall. I know the length. I know what it would take. I would want to do it. Maybe cycle it. be more proper. But to actually go through the perimeter and get a sense of it, to know that I've been everywhere that it was, because it's just such a weird thing. It's one of my hyperfixations, Berlin Wall. And the sections that are preserved, definitely want to check them out. The West Side Gallery, the museum section. Which, interestingly, the section that's preserved, I forget which road it's on. But the section that's preserved, like it was towards the very end of the Cold War and the separation of Germany, that section is featured prominently in a early era film on the Berlin Wall, because it was one of the spots where a church happened to be for the longest until the East Germans actually finally demolished it. It's I forget whether it's a British or an American piece on the wall. I think it might be British, but it shows kids playing and a ball bounces over the wall, and it's like, that's it. It's gone. You ain't getting it back. Because hooray, something to talk about other than Kent Hovind. So the Berlin Wall, it's a bit of a funny thing about it is that it was obviously built, whenever you build a fence, you got to build it inside of your property. You try to build it as close to the border as you can, but it technically needs to be inside of your property. Well, Berlin Wall was no exception. Where the outer part of the wall was facing West Berlin was already usually at least a couple of feet into East German property. So, like, if the border was the sidewalk, like, if the sidewalk was literally, technically speaking, East Germany, they would build right on that, like on the edge, so that they basically cede the sidewalk to the west so that the wall would be in that area. Created an interesting thing where, technically speaking, when people would go and like graffiti on the wall, East German troops technically, legally, were able to just pop through if there was a doorway there or something, which at places there were, and just grab you, arrest you right there, because technically you were in East Germany at that point. It's a wild thought. And that's one of those things I just want to go and be able to stand in those spots and be like, now I'm in the west, now I'm in the east, now I'm in the west, now I'm in the east. Here's fine. Here's not fine. Here is literally the wall. And where this McDonald's is now was, the death strip. It's just such a crazy thought to me. You can only imagine what I'd do if time machines were real, you know? So there's me rambling on about something that makes me happy. Going back to Hovind rambling on about whatever.
Should consider this. It represents a generation. In Psalm 90, the days of our years are 60 years and 10. A score is 20, so 60. You're going to live 70 years. If by reason of strength they be 80, don't get excited, okay? You're going to die anyway, okay? 70 elders.
Deviant, you are now banned for owning a piece of the Berlin Wall. I am extremely jealous. You know what I really hate? I've wanted to see pictures of the general process of the decommissioning and demolition of the wall. Not just the famous pictures from November of '89, but the process as it went on for those many years. And the most I've been able to find is, ironically, the very large area where the it's not the Reichstag, the Reich Chancellery building was during World War II, where the bunker was and where everything went down at the end of a certain painter's life. That area was completely undeveloped for the longest. Like, it's noticeable in aerial photos, east slightly of Brandenburg Gate. That the area is just left. It's just sort of a mound there. And eventually, as they were demolishing the rest of the remains of the bunker and during reunification to build stuff, I've seen a lot of images of those and seen stories and details. And you can see a few areas where the wall had just had a section, knocked down, like a cars width area, and they just kind of quickly improvised a little road through. Otherwise, it's all still up. But that's about all you see. And of course, it's just going to be regular construction. It's not going to look anything special. But the idea of having a document of the process, I haven't been able to find as much stuff online as I would want to. So yeah, having a piece of the wall, I'm jealous, very jealous.
70 is sacred in Scripture. It's made up of two factors of two perfect numbers, 7 and 10. 7 represents perfection. 10 is completeness and God's law, the 10 commandments. It symbolizes power, perfect spiritual order carried out with all power. It represents a period of judgment, the number 7 and 70. 70 elders were appointed by Moses after reading the 10 commandments God gave him. Moses took 70 elders along with Aaron and his sons up to Mount Sinai. They got to see God give Moses the law. Okay?
Oh, I want to bring up Stacy asking the length in Hasselhoff's. I'll have to get back to you on that. I mean, he was the reason the Berlin Wall fell.
Ancient Israel spent 70 years in captivity in Babylon, Jeremiah 20. 70s especially connected with Jerusalem. That city kept 70 years of Sabbaths while Judah was in Babylonian captivity. 77s, that's 490, were determined upon Jerusalem for its completion, to complete its transgression.
Yeah, Maria, there's a well-documented British film by someone who served in the British sector, describing the process of going from, I want to say Frankfurt, it'd have to be because it was the main primary thing, all the way up to Checkpoint Charlie. The route, the check stations, everything, and has since gone back and shown the areas today. The checkpoints now, like like a what amounts to a Kinko's and stuff. It's crazy, just like, yeah, these are major Cold War buildings and now they're just whatever. And that's the way time moves on. Um, it's a wild thought. And that brings to an interesting thought is that while, World War II is accepted to have ended in September of 1945, if you think about it, with the occupation of Germany and technically speaking, not so much West Germany proper, but Berlin still being divided into the occupation sectors up till the reunification, one can argue that World War II didn't actually end until 1990, that the last direct echoes of it finally faded away. In much the same way the Korean War has never ended because technically no peace treaty has been signed, no formal ending of hostilities. We've just been on an armistice for the past 72 years. So, yeah. Cold War, hell of a time.
When I did my book, What on Earth's About to Happen, in my Woe series and my chart behind me here, I go through, I believe this is the end of the 60th of the 6,000-year period. The Earth's been about 6,000 years. While I was writing my book, people kept asking me, Hovind, when's the Lord coming? I said, I don't know, and I'm not going to set a date. But if I had to guess, I'd say 2028. And here's why. We know our calendar's off. Okay, Jesus was not born in the year 0. He was born about 4 BC and probably crucified in the year 28. And God seems to be working on a 6,000-year calendar. You can get this up here, brother. So I have on the bottom line.
But Kent, that's just lines on paper.
The creation, 6,000 years ago. The call of Abraham, 2,000 years ago. Jesus Christ, 2,000 years ago. We're now in what's called the time of the Gentiles, this 2,000-year period. And there's yet to come one more 1,000-year period called the millennium. Milli means 1,000, like a millimeter. Millipede has 1,000 legs.
Oh my God, Kent, we all know what the hell a millimeter is. We all understand the concept. Good Lord. Do you think everyone's got permanent brain damage, dude? Like, I'm sorry, but seriously.
Not actually. I wonder how does a centipede know which leg to move first? That's got to be confusing, doesn't it? All you got to do is stop and ask him, hey, centipede, which leg do you move first? While he's thinking about it, you can stomp on him, whatever you're going to do, okay? So I believe God's working on a 7,000-year calendar for all of human history. Each day.
Nice, Laura. Old globe with only one Germany. Although the shape of Germany wouldn't be right because they had to cede a lot of territory back to Poland when everything finished. So the shape wasn't right, but hey, at least it's one Germany again. That's something me and a friend of mine look out for. We'll find random knickknacks that'll be, German, and we'll look and we'll be like, oh, yep, West Germany. Sadly, we've not found anything that said East Germany, but, it'll show up. I just don't have the resources handy to begin building my Warsaw Pact / Soviet collection of phones and watches and other good stuff. I was planning on doing that before everything went crazy.
Is like 1,000 years, but that's another story. So 490 years determined upon Jerusalem to enter, make an end of sins and everlasting righteousness. Daniel chapter 9. Terah, the father of Abraham.
Ooh, so all this talk about East and West Germany, y'all might enjoy this. And yeah, if anyone's watching this expecting this to be focused on Hovind, you clearly don't know what my streams are like. So, I don't do much in the way of the old classic text adventures, where you literally type in commands and get text response in a computer, like, get lamp, you have the lamp. It's dark, you're likely to be eaten by a grue, that kind of stuff. But I think they're very neat. I just don't play them. It's just not my thing. I wanted to make one though, and I wanted to theme it off of like the Berlin Wall situation, where you were a character trying to escape this tyrannical nightmare for an area where everything is much, much better. But the twist at the end was going to be that you were actually fleeing a capitalist hellscape towards a socialist utopia. It was going to be a reversal of things at the end. I don't know how I would have wrote it, but I thought it would have been pretty neat. And I'm still going to make it if I ever get around to that, if I ever decide to focus on that project. But I just thought what do you call that? The subversion of expectations, whatever the term is, that would have been nice. The twist at the end, pull an M Night Shyamalama ding dong with it.
Was not his oldest son, had his first male child at 70 years of age. Canaan, the fourth biblical patriarch mentioned in Scripture, had his first son at the age of 70. Israel and Egypt had its beginning with Joseph rising in power in Pharaoh's court, and Jacob migrating his entire household to the land. 70.
I do not mean to make Laura nor Deviant feel old, but I was a few days shy of my first birthday when Challenger went. So, yeah. Also, Columbia happened to be lost the day after my 18th birthday. That was interesting. It was like, congratulations, here's the first full day of being an adult. We're going to lose a space shuttle. 7 astronauts. And you're just going to have to cope with it, Chris. Good luck.
Israelites started a nation within another nation. The Jews started building their own nation inside Egypt. They would grow to more than 2 million by the time of the Exodus. 70 elders, not counting the high priest, composed Israel's great tribunal.
Laura, you hit the nail on the head.
That was their Supreme Court. Eventually called the Sanhedrin. It was this body of elders that hated Christ so much they were the driving force in the New Testament to have him killed.
Okay, everyone, we are now the Sanhedrin, because that actually sounds really cool. Actually, no, you know what? Not the Sanhedrin. Sanhedron. Like the large hadron, small hadron. Or the Sanhedron. I'll have to do the math on our quantum properties. We're probably a useless particle. That's why no one's detected us yet. Subverse undercover group. Slowly taking down the Hovind. Not that he's anything important, but he's dangerous. Dangerous as in he actually hurts people.
They lied. That's called weaponizing the judiciary. Yeah. Tell the judges and lawyers, get that guy for something. That's what they did to me. Watch that video a week ago. 70 disciples were sent out by Christ on a training mission to preach the gospel in the surrounding area, Luke 10. The number 70 in Jesus' parables. The Bible records Jesus giving at least 70 parables during his ministry. The Greek
Wow, no one cares.
word Israel, according to Strong's Concordance, is written 70 times in 68 different verses in the Greek version of the New Testament. Exactly 70. It is recorded the most in the book of Acts, 16 times, followed by...
Wow, that is beautiful and terrifying, actually, having been able to see it yourself. That's... Really like the space shuttle too. That's what kills me. Sorry, I get emotional when it comes to space disasters.
The Gospels, Matthew and Luke, as well as the book of Romans, with 12 occurrences in each. The Hebrew word Dan is recorded 70 times in 63 verses in the Old Testament. In the original language, Dan, which means judge. God will judge.
Oh, in the original language, how many is it in your version? So you'll use the original language when it's convenient, but no. The King James version is the be all end all. It's perfect. That's funny. Where this is convenient, you'll be like, let's go to the original version. Okay, then why don't you just use the original version, Kent? Oh wait, I know why.
And that's what Psalm 70 is about. It's one of the names, one of Jacob's 12 sons, who started a tribe named after him, the tribe of Dan. That's why they always say from Dan to Beersheba. When the tribe moved north from its original allotment in the Promised Land, it started a city named after its founder, the city.
Kent, that Dan to Beersheba, that's the first time in my life I've ever heard that. That demonstrates how absolutely useless in the real world 99.9% of your holy book is. Like, seriously, when you actually look at real life, your entire book is useless. Everything works fine without it. That should tell you something.
City of Dan. The 70th verse in the Bible is Genesis 3. And the Lord said unto the serpent, because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle. God brings judgment. The number 70 in Psalm 70 is about God going to bring judgment. And we need help. God, help me, protect me from my enemies. So
he's obviously not doing too good a job. I'm doing pretty well as far as, producing this stuff goes. I got my audience. About 1,100 subscribers. That's pretty cool. And I literally couldn't do it without each and every one of you. So I don't know. He doesn't seem to be protecting you too well, Kent.
Who gets to pass judgment on his subjects? The king does. The king can pass judgment.
All right, everyone. Let it be known that Elvis and Michael Jackson are capable of passing judgment. No one else. I don't know how Elvis would judge me. I think MJ would find me cool. Probably because I'm a mega fan, But I do play guitar, so Elvis would probably appreciate that. And I have a big appreciation for Elvis's Rosewood Telecaster. So I think that's just awesome. How would I be judged by the king of rock and roll and the king of pop? We'll never know. It's an interesting thought experiment.
You're wrong. You're guilty. Here's the law. So that's the Psalm 70 is about that topic. 70 is, of course, 10 times 7. 10 represents perfection, completeness, and order. There are 10 commandments, 10 fingers, 10 toes, 10 spots.
Let the record show that instead of anything Kent Hovind's actually talking about, we have focused our discussion on Cold War Germany, fall of the Berlin Wall, and the space shuttle. Cool.
Eyes voted not to go into the land in Numbers chapter 14. The 10th time Noah, who was the 10th generation from Adam, his name is mentioned, said, God said,
Harold, thank you for this suggestion. Should look up Nordland World War II. Some of the biggest naval artillery in Europe / the world was there. I like where this is going.
Said to Noah, this is the 10th mention of his name, the end of all flesh has come before me. The earth is filled with violence through them. Behold, I will destroy them with the earth. Who gets to pass judgment? The king. Depart from me, ye workers of iniquity. Oh, there's 7 words in that. Interesting. Biblical meaning.
Man, this man's gonna start pulling up whole charts of just everything and mixing up letters and everything. It's gonna be crazy. Suddenly, we're gonna see a lot of 88s around his compound.
Of the number 7. 7 symbolizes completeness. It's done. Perfection. Genesis tells us God created the heaven and the earth in 6 days and rested on the 7th day. By the way, he rested because he was done. Okay? I was mowing grass on the church one Sunday afternoon with a tractor. Guy stopped his truck, walked over the highway, said, "I'll never come to your church." I said, "Why not?" He said, "You're working on the Sabbath."
Look, if anyone's got anywhere in Europe for me to move to and just occupy a place, let's get stuff set up. I just won't be gone. But Chris, half your electronics won't work. I'll make them work. I'll buy frequency converters, voltage converters. I'll flip the little red tab on my computers. Going 240 volts, baby. My PS3 is already European. Swapped it out for a universal power supply. It'll enjoy being back home. Although I think it spent its time in England. So, is that even really Europe? They decided they didn't want to be. That's neither here nor there. Yeah, totally be happy to just go. Just be like, okay, take care of the place. Cool. Do I have to adjust my cats to European Standard Time? Or will they adapt?
I said, "Well, sir, first of all, the Sabbath was yesterday, if our calendar is even right. And this is Sunday, okay, the first day of the week. And God rested because he was done. I'm not done. Get back in your truck, get out of here. I'm going to finish the grass, and then I'll go take a break, okay?" Okay. It established the number 7
Ooh, he went to touch his neck thing. Stop that, Kent. You can't do that on YouTube.
as the divine rest, symbol of rest and completion. This pattern is repeated throughout the Bible. The number 7 appears over 700 times, representing divine order. For example, the book of Revelation mentions 7 churches, 7 seals, 7 trumpets, each signifying a completion of
All right there, Kent Koresh.
some kind. While not every instance of 7 carries a deeper meaning, it frequently represents God's completeness and perfection. Throughout the Bible, God gives symbolic significance to mundane items. For instance, Genesis 2 talks about the rainbow. What's so special about a rainbow? Well, God said,
Well, if memory serves, it was a band Ronnie James Dio was in for a while, and that was pretty cool.
that's going to be a symbol. I'm not going to flood the world anymore. He used bread to represent his presence among the people.
Wow. Bread. Wow. Bread.
The rainbow and bread are obvious symbols in Scripture. Less obvious seems to be attracted to the numbers in the Bible, especially the number 7. There are many, many books. Just type in numerology in the Bible, and you'll be on a rabbit trail to take you the next 45 years.
Yeah, a group of complete nut jobs. Cross-eyed Hoven.
To get off. Any one of the numbers, they're just amazing, okay? The number 7 provides a special emphasis in this text. Jesus spoke 7 times from the cross. My God, why hast thou forsaken me? Today you'll be with me in paradise. 7 times he spoke from the cross. Jesus described himself 7 ways. He said, "I am the bread of life. I am the light of the world. I am the door," okay? "I am the good shepherd. I am the resurrection and the life. I am the way, the truth, and the life. I'm the vine." 7 times. Maybe that doesn't matter to you, but it's cool to me. I like mathematics, okay? The King David referenced the number 7, describing the perfect nature of God's words, when he wrote that the Lord's words are flawless, like gold refined 7 times. The prophet Isaiah described the coming Messiah, listing 7 qualities the Savior would have. Isaiah said in chapter 11, "The Spirit of the Lord is going to be on him. He's going to have a spirit of wisdom, understanding, spirit of counsel, spirit of might, spirit of knowledge, spirit of fear of the Lord." 7. Interesting. Maybe just a coincidence. Okay. Every 7th year, the Israelites were to cancel all debts and freed all their slaves. People say, is there slavery in the Bible? Yes, there is. There's always been slavery, okay? God didn't authorize it, but he put some
Yeah, he did. By putting rules on it, he authorized it, you dumbass.
rules down. If you have a slave, you got to let him go after 7 years. That was the rule. Maybe some people volunteered
How about slavery's bad, okay?
to go into slavery to pay their debt. They got so far in debt they couldn't get out. Here, I'll come work for you for 7 years to pay this debt off. How many of you have ever taken out a loan for a car or a house and you were in slavery to that debt for years over the same thing? Okay.
You're not in slavery to the debt. They are not the same thing. This is the indentured servitude garbage. It's just really sickening to think that these guys are just going to hand wave away slavery as, no, you were just paying off a debt. That's not the same thing.
Yeah. So don't get mad at God for he didn't cause it. He just put rules down about slavery. Peter asked Jesus, how many times we're to forgive? He said 70 times 7. The prophet Elijah directed Naaman the leper to bathe in the Jordan River.
You know, if you think about it, if I do one Wackahoven today, every day, every week, that means there'd be 7 Hovens. Can you imagine that? 7 Kent Hovens all standing there surrounding you, staring at you, judging you. God, that's nightmarish.
7 times to be healed. I'm sure Naaman thought that was dumb. He came, he said, prophet, I got leprosy. Can you fix me? Sure. Go jump in the river. 7 times. Read the story, 2 Kings chapter 5. I don't know, but I bet Naaman jumped in once, came out, nothing. Jumped in twice, nothing. After 6 times, he said, this ain't going to work. His servant said, hey, he said 7. Well,
You ask for water, Laura, not all the water.
more time. Jumped in the 7th time, came out, leprosy gone. Just do what God says. You don't have to understand. Sorry about my throat here. I like that guy who's telling me the story years and years ago. He was out applying for jobs. And the boss,
Oh, everyone get your pillows. Old man's rambling on about nothing.
he said it was a hard time to get jobs back then. He said, boss, I'd like to get a job here. Here's my application. The boss said, what can you do? He said, I can do what I'm told. You're hired. I've been looking for a guy like that. I can do what I'm told. Wow.
I'm a boomer. Gotta do boomer jokes.
Wow, that's a rare quality these days, isn't it? When the Lord thy God shall bring you into the...
Can you do what you're told, Kent? Like, pay your taxes? Not abuse people? Can you do what you're told? Leave your ex-wife alone? Can you do that? Which one? All of them. Can you do what you're told, Kent?
land whither thou goest, and cast out the nations before thee. Who's he going to cast out? The Hittites, Girgashites, Amorites, Canaanites, Perizzites, Hivites, Jebusites. 7 nations.
And the Amalekites and the Anthracites and the Dolomites. It's Dolomite, baby. It's all of them. Hang on. Is Hovind going to get into 7-nation army? Because I'd seriously want to see him try to play 7-nation army. Just try. Is no talent hack. It'd be hilarious watching him play one of the easiest pieces of music ever.
Greater and mightier than thou. The south gate in Ezekiel chapter 40. He brought me to the south gate, and there were 7 steps. Again, maybe just a coincidence, but I think God wrote an amazing book, okay? For God to direct 40 different men to write this book over a period of 1,500 years. Most of them never knew each other. And it come out flawless. I think that's pretty amazing. Man.
Here's an old internet reference for you. I move away from the mic to breathe in. In Hovin's case, I finally move away from the mic to hawk up all that wonderful Jesus inside me, if you know what I mean.
Okay. The construction of the temple lasted 7 years. 7 times.
Yeah, they had a really shitty workers' union.
Times Elisha laid down on the child and brought him back to life. He stretched himself upon this dead child and brought him back to life. 2 Kings chapter 4.
Okay, there's your necromancy. Good stuff there, Kent.
Leper Naaman dipped 7 times in the river. Though the righteous fall 7 times, he gets up again. Proverbs 24. The Lord, it takes 7 days for the consecration of Aaron and his son and the altar. Exodus 29. If you buy a Hebrew slave, he goes free after 7 years.
Yeah, we get it. They really like the number 7. Whoopity freaking do.
It's found all through the Bible. In 6 years thou shalt sow thy land and gather the fruits, but in the 7th year let it rest. I don't get to plant my crops? No. God said, I'm going to give you enough on the 6th year. You can let it rest for a year.
Yeah, just ignore all the starvation happening amongst the community.
By the way, farmers are learning if they let their land rest for a year, it really produces more the other 6 years. 6 days shalt thou do thy work, and on the seventh day thou shalt rest. Thy ox, thine ass, they may rest. All your farm equipment should rest for a while. The son of the handmaid, the stranger, may be refreshed. Jacob served 7 years for Rachel. He had to work 7 years to get a wife. I know people that they get one, then they got to work 50 more years to pay for them. How long you
Rampant misogyny. Hovering.
been paying for years, Brother Meister? 63 years now? Long time. Okay, that's wonderful.
I just imagine Pastor Meister sitting over there inside of that sphere thing that Darth Vader has in Empire Strikes Back, his little meditation chamber, just being kept alive by a sheer hatred of everyone. And Hovind just lets him out to do his streams, and then he goes back and focuses on the dark side of the Force. That's all I imagine over there.
Cain could be revenged 70 times, or 7 times if somebody killed him. Joseph remained in prison 7 years, falsely accused. They accused him of sleeping with the master's wife, and he didn't do it.
Hovind stretches out everything. Hovering.
Falsely, I know about going to prison falsely, okay? Watch that video.
Oh, poor Kent. 9 years of your life you're not going to get back for a crime you definitely committed, dumbass.
I did about a week ago, a letter to Trump. The 7 U's given to present to Abimelech by Abraham.
Not gonna lie, I can totally see where that would convince somebody of CPR. That was actually my first thought when he described it. I'm like, oh, CPR. And it just clicked with me like, wait a minute, no.
7 couples of each kind of cattle entered into the ark with Noah. 2 of each kind, but 7 of the clean ones. Ah, interesting. Why 7? Who hath despised
Yeah, Kent. Why 7?
the day of small things? They shall rejoice and see the plummet in the hand of Zerubbabel with those 7. These are the eyes of the Lord. 7 eyes of the Lord run around through the whole earth. God's watching.
Okay, so apparently, now hear me out on this one. Actually, I need to just double check some things. Okay, I was just making sure my memory was correct on who made this particular piece of music. So apparently, God is a Blink-182 fan because, or no, wait, he's not. For who hath despised day of small things, for they shall rejoice. You know, all the small things. And Blink-182 is annoying, and I don't like them. Sorry, I don't like pop punk. I don't like regular punk, honestly, either. Not the traditional stuff. Don't get me started on music, though. Don't. I just don't understand how a genre that's supposed to be so aggressive as punk is so whiny and relatively lightweight. Yeah, sorry, that joke was a stretch and it failed miserably. I shall now close the channel. Thank you all for coming. That joke has been the end of Caruso Tomato. See you all next time when I start up my channel with my baking adventures. Yeah.
Watching everything. We see a link between 7 and the healing. In the 7 healing miracles Jesus performed on the Sabbath. So on the 7th.
Oh God, Pastor Meister would totally have an angry dome. In fact, I'm pretty sure I've seen it in satellite photos of DAL. Hell, I think one of them you can actually see him pacing around in it, angry as the Dino van drives off to Bruton for the Chinese dinner. He stays behind in his angry dome.
7th day he performed 7 miracles. The man with the withered hand, the man with an unclean spirit, Peter's mother-in-law. You know, the Bible never mentions Peter's wife. Somebody said, Brother Hovind, you think Peter was married? Bible never mentions his wife. I know, but it mentions his mother-in-law, and a man would be a fool to have a mother-in-law without having a wife.
What the hell was that? And that timing was perfect. I swear, if there was a God out there, these would be the kind of signs to convince me. Them slowly but steadily fucking around with Kent's streams. Oh man.
What was that? Oh, you? Okay. The woman crippled by a spirit, a man with abnormal
Hey, we're gonna go back to that.
Peter's wife. Somebody said, Brother Hovind, you think Peter was married? Bible never mentions his wife. I know, but it mentions his mother-in-law, and a man would be a fool to have a mother-in-law without having a wife. What was that? Oh, you? Okay. The woman crippled by a spirit, a man with abnormal swelling in the body, the lame man by the pool of...
You know what, you want to bet that had they not been live and someone had knocked something down and made that big of a noise, Kent would have just went off on them, but because they're live, he just held back and didn't say anything, didn't react or anything.
Bethesda, and a man born blind. 7 miracles on the 7th day. Maybe just a coincidence, okay? The number 7 is frequently accompanied by the...
I was going to make a Bethesda joke there, but I lost it as soon as I thought it up.
fulfillment of promises. The Hebrew word for swearing an oath, shabbat, is the Hebrew word for 7. Both derive from the Hebrew word meaning satisfaction or fullness. Done. I filled my oath. In Genesis, God promises not to destroy the earth again with a flood, and he memorializes this covenant with a rainbow, which has 7 colors. Roy G. Bibb, red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, violet. Interesting.
Rainbows contain a spectrum. It is effectively infinite colors in a rainbow, Kent. It's kind of how it works. It is literally limited by what your eye can see. And only by what your eye can see. Although a few combinations aren't going to show up, but we don't see those anyway, so yeah.
Later in Genesis, Abraham swore an oath of ownership over a certain well. Abraham satisfied the oath with the gift of 7 lambs and named the site of the oath Beersheba, which means the well of oath or the well of 7. From Dan to Beersheba, 7. The book of Joshua gives another example of 7 correlation promises. God promised Joshua he'd bring down the fortified walls of Jericho if Joshua and his army marched around the city once every 6 days and 7 times on the 7th day. They walked around the city 7 times on the 7th day. I'm sure the people inside are laughing at him. Hey, guys, can't you find the door? Come on, get a little closer so we can shoot you. On the 7th time they went around, he said, now blow the trumpets. And they blew the trumpets, and all the walls fell down flat. By the way, they think they found the original walls of the city of Jericho. Check on the stuff on that archaeology. The book of Revelation is rich with the number 7.
Yep, they found everything. Who is this they? Because not only are they controlling everything, and they censoring Kent on YouTube, and they trying to take him down, and they trying to stop Trump. They are finding all these wonderful biblical things, and they are discovering new things all the time. Who is this they? And why are they playing both sides of the field?
7 churches, 7 lampstands, 7 seals, 7 trumpets, 7 bowls.
And if 6 other people do the same gesture I'm doing, there'll be 7 middle fingers pointed up at Kent. Hey, there we go. There we go.
Among the 7s, they represent God's his judgment is complete. When God's the judge, he's going to finish the job, okay? The fullness of his message to
He's going to finish the job, and he's to hurry the fuck up.
The church and the ultimate fulfillment of God's prophetic plan. 7 is the only prime number preceded by a cube. 8 is what's called a perfect cube. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. 3 times 3 times 3 is 27. The number before that, 26, not a prime number. 7 is the only prime number, in front of or preceding a cube number. The music scale has 7 letters, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. And then you start over, A, B, C.
Oh, Kent. Kent. Music scale's 8 notes in an octave. We group it in the octaves. But what's funny is that an octave, the 8 notes that make up an octave, is actually 12 notes because of the way we've devised our equal temperament scale for modern music notation, derived from classical notations. Which, incidentally enough, the particular tones, the particular names assigned to the notes in situations causing us to lack things like a B sharp, which technically a C is a B sharp, but let's not get into detail, is due to our current music notation systems origin in monk chanting. The particular notes they use set up the primary stuff, and then as we expanded a bit, we had to create the intervals. It's really complicated. My understanding of music theory is so. Like, I get stuff, but I can't orate it at all yet. But it's really cool. But yeah, there's from my standpoint, Kent, there's 12 notes in our music scale, not 7. 12 in an octave, which is 8 in an octave, because music's weird, and I fucking love it.
You see, after judgment of God on the world with the flood, there are now 7 continents. Being a math teacher, I like math stuff. Did you know if you take any triangle, divide each of the sides into equal thirds, connect the lines, the triangle that makes in the middle is 1/7 area of the original triangle, called Rotham's, Ruth's, or whatever it is, Routh's theorem. Works on any triangle. How's that happen? Maybe there's something about the Trinity in there. I don't know. Something you can study that. There's a rabbit you can chase. Okay. The 7 dwarfs. 1812, the famous fairy tale Snow White by the Grimm brothers. 2 brothers made up Snow White, and I think whatever some other pair did they. Anyway, for 7 days, I will cause it to rain on the earth. 7 days. Just the word number 7 mentioned a bunch in the Bible. Jacob loved Rachel and said, I will serve 7 years for Rachel, the younger daughter. After working 7 years, Dad had him marry the wrong one, the ugly sister. Woke up from the honeymoon on the next morning and looked, oh, brother, I got the wrong one.
So he wasn't able to tell ahead of time? He didn't look at all? I mean, that's pretty stupid. Also, Rachel must have been just the most amazing thing in the universe. There is no way she could have been that just perfect. Just no way.
I guess they all look the same in the dark. I don't know. But
Ugh, God, you're disgusting, Kent.
Jacob served 7 more years. It seemed unto him but a few days for the love he had for her. Verse 7, found in the Bible a bunch of times. You just type in 7 if you got it. I have God's word for Windows. Love that. Use it all the time. 7, 7, 7. 7 days shall you eat unleavened bread. The first day, put leaven out of your house. Whoso eateth bread, let's see, on the 7th day, if you don't follow these rules, God said you're cut off from Israel. You can't be a citizen. Kick you out of the nation.
It's all pretty arbitrary and stupid. It's okay. Your bread can't have yeast in it. Why? Because I said so. Okay. And when you say that to a child, it's because the child, it's probably not worth arguing with the child, negotiating with them, explaining. Although, obviously, I am of the opinion that you should explain stuff to children. They're smarter than people give them credit for. But if you try to draw that analogy out, and Kent would be like, well, okay, God wouldn't be able to explain it to these people. It's like, but did he try? Obviously, he didn't. So this looks like the writings of people who just didn't know what the hell they were talking about and tried to make an interesting story and failed miserably at it. But that's just me.
For not following God's rules. The menorah, the candlestick the Jews have, had 7 lampstands. Thou shalt make 7 lamps thereof, and they shall light the lamps thereof, that they may give light over against it. The priest that is anointing shall take the bullock's blood and bring it to the tabernacle, and the priest shall dip his finger in the blood and sprinkle the blood 7 times before the Lord.
Just going to say, wouldn't surprise me, Karibo.
Before the veil of the sanctuary. 7 days, 7 times, 7 days, all through the Bible. 7, 7, 7 loaves. Jesus took 7 loaves and fed 4,000 people.
Kent, gonna need some help here. I can only count to 4. I can only count to 4. Y'all know what I'm referencing. I would scream it, but I don't have the energy, and I just don't feel like it.
Another time he took 2 loaves and fed or 5 loaves and 2 fish
I
and fed
can
5,000
only count
people.
to 4. I can
7,
only.
cast 7 devils out of Mary Magdalene. Huh. A woman who had lived with a husband 7 years from her virginity was Anna the prophetess.
Ew. It's supposed to be such a great book, and this is stuff it focuses on. Just oh, uh, uh. Y'all are weird, man.
And her husband died. The number 7, it's just interesting. 463 times the number's mentioned in the Bible. In the book of Matthew's got it 10 times. Mark's
It's almost as if it's a number that comes up a lot. I'm sure a lot of other numbers come up pretty regularly.
got it 9 times. Revelation's got it 54 times. The rainbow. God said, I'm not going to judge the world again by a flood. He didn't say he wouldn't judge it some other way, but not by a flood. 7 colors. Huh. Psalm chapter 70. Lord, do not delay. Psalm 70. Make haste, O God, to deliver me. Make haste to help me, O my Lord. Let them be turned back for a reward of their shame that say, Aha. Let those that seek thee rejoice and be glad in thee, and let such as love thy salvation say continually, let God be magnified. Let God be magnified, found in the Bible several times. Let thy name be magnified forever. Let it be established, even thy name may be magnified forever. God be magnified. Do you magnify God with your life? Somebody gives you a compliment, do you brush it off and put it to God? Well, God gave me this ability, or do you take the credit?
That's so pathetic. Yeah, Magical Sky Daddy made me like. No, you did something. Whoop-de-doo. If Magic Sky Daddy deserves credit for things, Magic Sky Daddy needs to get off their ass and actually do something. Instead of sitting around doing jack diddly fucking shit like it seems that they've done for all of fucking eternity. Almost as if they don't exist. Except for, the random stories contained in your magic book of BS that contradict all the other magic stories and other magic books of varying levels of BS. Some of them far more pleasant than others. Some of them downright likable, if still false.
I am poor and needy. Make haste unto me, O God. Thou art my help. Make and my deliverer, O Lord. Make no tarrying. That's it. 5 verses. Psalm 70. God's judgment. He said, hide not thy face from me. Help me, Lord. Help me. Help me. It's all through the Bible. Lord, help. Man was admiring the great canyon below him one day when he slipped over the edge, grabbed a tree branch. He hollered, is anybody up there? Silence. Hollered again, help, help, is anybody up there? Finally, a voice came out. I'm here. He said, oh, who is it? He said, it's the Lord. He said, oh, Lord, I'm glad you heard me. He said, Lord, I got a problem here. The Lord says, yes, sir, you do. He said, Lord, can you help me? Oh, yes, I can help you, but you must do exactly as.
Why is the all-knowing entity actually having a conversation? It should just be an immediate pop into the head of, oh, here's the solution. Here's the requirements. Done. Bye. This anthropomorphization makes no sense. If thoughts can just can instantly happen. It's just weird that this timeless, immaterial, infinitely powerful deity moves at the speed of human.
As I say, oh, Lord, I'll do anything. Tell me what to do.
And I don't hear somebody say, oh, well, God has to communicate with you. It's like, okay, you can have a thought just instantly pop up in your own head. Purple giraffe. Boom. Every one of you just imagined a purple giraffe. At least I hope. I'm sure most of you did. Because, boom, your brain immediately formulated the idea. What's the color purple? There we go. What's a giraffe look like? Here's a giraffe. Let me make a giraffe purple. Okay, this works. I now have a mental image of a purple giraffe. The deity can do the exact same thing. Go through the whole nuts and bolts of the conversation, put into the entity's head what exactly needs to go on. But, the deity has to be personal. Why can't that experience be personal? It would be. They would feel that way. False memories. It's like when you have a dream. I don't know. Just none of this adds up.
The voice said, first, let go of the branch. He was quiet for a minute, and he said, is anybody else up there? Maybe God's already told you what to do, and you're not doing it. God says, look, I told you what to do. Read my book. You having a problem with your job, with your money?
Harold, earlier he had brought up that one of the cases of seven being used was in the original Hebrew, but not in his particular translation. So he's just picking and choosing what works. You know, the King James Version is perfect, except for the times when the original version is more perfecter.
With your marriage, with your children, with you having stress and worry. He already wrote a book. Read the book. Some of you can't handle money.
Lisa the Rainbow Giraffe, leaf be upon you.
The Bible's got a lot to say about how to make money and how to handle it when you do get it. Quit spending it on dumb stuff. In Poland, there's a forest. There's 400 pine trees grow like this. The crooked forest. On our tour, I give tours around here all the time, and in the Jeep, I shot by. We got some crooked trees on our property here. Here's the lessons I teach about the crooked tree. Look, if you start off life crooked, you can always straighten up. Have you messed up your life pretty bad?
You started out pretty crooked, Kent. As far as I can tell, you're still growing off that way. Just weird zigzag pattern of your life. Never straight and narrow, though. Never straight up. Always back and forth, deviously weaseling your way around things.
Stop. The first rule of the hole is, Billy, what's the first rule of the hole? If you're in a hole, and stop digging.
No, it's dig up, stupid. The correct way to get yourself out of a hole is to dig sideways. That way would work. You dig laterally and form steps, and fill in where you were with the material you excavate to create the pathway to get up. That is the way I would do it. It would take a lot of effort. But if I couldn't get out another way, that's the way I'd do to try to begin to get to a point where I could get out of there.
Stop digging. You got financial problems? Well, quit the dumb habits that are called.
So, I don't know if it's honestly the correct way. That's the first idea that comes up. You want to get something where you can get higher. Deranged Hoven face. There's a thumbnail.
Pausing, duh. Start off life crooked, you can straighten up. Number two, if you want to straighten up, you have to follow the light. What the tree does. Jesus is the light of the world. The Bible's the light to our path.
Yeah, Hovind is, to use his own parlance, a massive hypocrite here.
To straighten up, follow the light. You want God to help you? Oh, help me, God.
Kent, Muslims say that Allah is the light. So, you're telling me I should follow Allah. Keep that in mind.
God, help me, God, help me, God. Look, he wants to help. He wants to help. He wrote a book. Make haste, deliver me, oh God, help me, help me, help me. All right. Read the book and do what he says. First, make sure you're in the family.
Okay, G-Man. Read your Bible and do what it says. G-Man and the Masters of Stupidity. Q, I mean, if Hovind actually took his own advice, I'd have to find some other lolcow. And not that I'm against that, but, I just don't want to have to go through the effort.
Family. Give your heart to the Lord, get saved. Today's my birthday. Make it your birthday too. Say, Lord, I'm a sinner. Would you please forgive me and save me? Come in my heart. Save me. Salvation.
Yeah, I counter that with a hail Satan.
It has to be simple, or stupid people couldn't get it. We got some stupid people in this world. How many have met some? Yeah. Okay. Yeah, how many are some? Never mind. We don't need to confess. So, hope this helps this morning. This book is way deeper. I think I've only scratched the surface in my 56 years of reading and studying.
I do not know, Q, how Rumble treats links. I've never interacted with the site beyond just being there, viewing content. And by viewing content, I mean just Kent's stuff specifically for this reason. Although, oddly enough, a lot of the debatably alt-right creators that I do follow, because some of their stuff does track well with me. A lot of it doesn't, though, so got to be mixed. I noticed them being suggested when I go to Rumble to go to see Ken Hovind's stuff. I mean, if you want, you can totally do it. I can't control anything, just post a link and see what happens. I figure they're probably going to moderate stuff. Much like YouTube, there's going to be link filtering going on. It's just par for the course.
The more I get into it, I think, wow, it's like a field full.
I mean, Laura, I do the occasional Matt Powell video, but his stuff is just, it's all low tier apologetics. He's a horrible person, but he's not as intrinsically unhinged and as Kent is. Because Kent is a lol cow. That's the thing. This is everything I do is the catalyst is the fact that Kent is an anti-reality maniac. But the fact that the reason I keep doing this stuff is as I started doing it, I realized Kent is a lol cow and that I had fun doing the mocking. So that's honestly why I do this at this stage. It isn't even necessarily about the atheism, the theism, the creation, or any of that stuff. Because I mean, that's a debate that doesn't even exist. That's an artificial debate people like Kent want to make happen. But no, it's more of just the sheer lolcow that he is. And sadly, Matt Powell, for everything about him, isn't a lolcow. He's just a disgusting individual.
Full of gold coins. You can go across the surface and gather them up, or you can start digging. Either way, horizontal, vertical, it's just prizes all the way. God's word is that way. Get into the family, and then read a book. Do what it says. People
Take a look. It's in a book. Reading Holland.
call me every day. I get a call. Brother Holman, I got this problem. What do I do? I tell them what the Bible says. It's all I know to do. Here's what the Bible says. I don't want to do that. Okay, well, then, never mind.
And like I said, you fire away and see what happens. I would love to know.
Okay. I remember after I changed the Volkswagen, one of the heads popped out because the head bolt stripped out of the block. 1962 Volkswagen, that one was. My dad says, son, we got to drill.
No, Stacy, what I was saying is that there are some YouTube creators who tend to be what some, I guess, would classify as alt-right, who I do happen to follow. And I have noticed upon going to rumble.com to eventually go to Kent's channel rather than just find the channel in my history and go there directly, that I'll see them suggested. Bearing is an example. Actually, that's the only one I've noticed, but I know others are on there because I've heard them mention it. That's all I'm saying. So it makes me a little wary and reminds myself that, yeah, these guys will have, a string of funny videos and then they'll be like, what the hell? It's like, oh, here's some right-wing garbage.
Drill out the hole, tap it out, put a helicoil in there, and then rebolt it. So after I rebuilt the whole thing, he said, now, son, listen, change oil before you start that motor because there's iron shavings in the oil. Well, I was in a hurry to go out on a date that night, and I didn't change oil. Drove it, picked a girl.
Yeah, and I just want to listen again carefully to how he said that.
Because there's iron shavings in the oil. Well, I was in a hurry to go out on a date that night, and I didn't change oil.
Yeah, he said it the way I think he did. Notice at the beginning he said there's iron shavings in the oil. Then he said, I didn't change oil. It's always when it's an action taking place, he skips the article. Bugs the fuck out of me.
Drove it, picked a girl up, took her to the church activity. On the way home, little lights came on all over the dash. You idiot. You should.
Matt Powell's unhingedness is, his videos are prepared is the thing. It's just him doing his apologetic stuff. The fact that Kent does his stuff live and it has this meandering, organic nature to it gives us the ultimate opportunity to tear apart the lol cow, the essence of the lol cow. Because that's another trait I notice about lol cows is that they always just do raw videos. That's a pattern I notice. So make of that what you will with my content. It's always these just set up the camera and do your thing. It's not much prep work behind their content usually. Sometimes it is, but yeah.
Should have changed the oil. How many have ever had your idiot light come on because you didn't do something right? At first, it cost me $400, man. Oh well. Look, do what the book says. Read the book. It's simple. Some of you.
Yeah, if your Bible was so great, it would have told you to lubricate your goddamn engine. Change the oil, you fucking moron. You didn't listen to your daddy say it, but I'm sure if your magic book of bullshit told you to do it, you'd follow it every bit of the way, except where you thought you could improve on it.
Atheists out there, you're going to wish one day, you're going to wish for eternity. You would have listened to the Lord. I'm here to help you. I really am. I like making fun of you meanwhile, but hey, if you believe you're related to a potato, okay, I'm going to eat you for lunch. All right, or your cousin anyway. Let's pray. Heavenly Father, thank you for your...
No, let's not do that. Something, 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 Satan, 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 something, something, something. You know. Uh, so I've been playing a new. Oh, hey, he finished with a stupid prayer. Let's see what he has to finish up this.
Move, please. Contact right away. Go to what? How do they do me, Joseph? How do they...
Mister, I've got no short-term memory, Kent Hovind. How do we do this again? I know I just talked about it 20 minutes ago, but I don't know how to do it.
Get money to me. PayPal or something. I don't know how to do that. Well, I've been scratching around. I got $500 for them right here, so they need about 2,500 more. So if you want to help, please come see them. And then...
Yeah, Hovind just walking around with that fat stack of cash. Did y'all see that? You can catch a glimpse of it there.
Well, I've been scratching around. I got $500 for them right here, so they need about 2,500 more. If you want...
Look at that. Look at that man with that stack of 20s. Or are those Huskies? I can't even tell. That motherfucker. But it's not about the money. Look at the money you got, Kent. You're not living broke as fuck. You act like you are, you're not.
Want to help, please come see them. And then they've been a great blessing here. So we try to help folks around here. Yep. Right. If you need something, call me. If I can't help, I'll do the best I can. See you tomorrow. Bye.
Boo. Hovind sucks. Sorry, the yawns were hitting me good. Sorry about that, Maria. I had forgotten about the dog loss. That still a bummer. Always a bummer. Stacy says, not wrong about Matt Powell. Is absolutely despicable, cruel, no fun at all in any way. Yeah, there's no fun about him. That's the thing with Matt Powell. It's usually just a bummer to deal with. I'm a very yawny tomato. Is Hovind also hopped up on fentanyl, and ketamine? I don't know. I do not know. '50s, he seems like type. Good point. '50s, that's the old people's money. And you know what Kent would say about $2 bills? I'm not going to repeat it here. But Kent would probably have something to say about the $2 bill, which I think the $2 bill is a pretty awesome unit of currency, or denomination of currency myself. But that's just me. But yeah. Okay. So that was a Hovind. Y'all know I never know how to finish these things. So as always, thanks everyone for stopping by. Had a fun time. Glad we get to have some laughs. What's Stacy got to say about Marty? Very first time I ever saw him online was that little clip of him saying all members of the LGBT community should be. Yep. That's why I don't do much Matt Powell content. It's just, nothing about him is pleasant. Nothing about him. And nothing about Kent is pleasant either, but you can extract fun from his insanity. Matt Powell is just evil. Like, pure evil. So, you know. Yep. Tomato about to be out of this. And yes, Tubian, it would be something offensive. A $2 bill stereotype. That's where I was going. Like I said, trying to be good in this stream. I think I was pretty good. Made my few jokes, but otherwise nothing too crazy.